Today, we're talking to Casey Reibelt, one of Australia's best referees. She started officiating as a teenager and has worked her way up to the biggest stage in world football. Casey, welcome to the show. Let's start at the beginning. Can you share your journey from starting as a referee at the age of 15 to officiating at the Women's World Cup in 2023? What inspired you to pursue this path?
Morning, guys. I just want to say, first of all, thanks very much for having me on your podcast. Really excited to share some of my insights from maybe a different aspect to the game. I know you guys come from the players and coaching side, so I'm excited to be able to share the refereeing side of football. In terms of how I got started in refereeing, I think you mentioned already I started when I was 15. Before that, I was a player. I think my first love of football was, I can remember at primary school, at lunchtimes we would have like this really just giant game of football on the oval. It'd just be like 100 kids running around chasing the ball. And I was a pretty shy kid, so it was like an easy way for me to make friends, and I love sport. So that's kind of where it started for me. And then I joined a club at age 10, and then I started playing football. From there, my cousin, he was playing at the same club as me at the time, and he got into refereeing and said like it was a really good way to earn some money, and he enjoyed refereeing. So I thought, I'll probably give it a go. Why not? I think as well, like my little brother was playing too, and there's never enough referees, so sometimes I'd like run the line or something, and so I quite enjoyed doing that too. So I thought, I'll give refereeing a bit of a go. So that's just how it started. And then I probably just didn't realize it was probably going to take me as far as it did. I think as soon as I started, like I realized I quite enjoyed it. It was the challenge of it. I enjoyed making decisions and being like right in the middle of the action. And I think refereeing's always been a big challenge for me, and no game is ever the same. So it continues to, I guess, that passion, I love it. And I guess, from there, like I went through the community level football, and then you go into just like a player, like you go into like state, rep style football. So I did that, like refereeing at state titles and things like that. And it was from there that I was identified as being someone with some potential. And so that was kind of when I started to think, maybe I can take this like a little bit further.
Yeah.
That was kind of like where the dream started. I was also lucky enough that in my local area, we had some international referees, such as Tammy Ogston and Mark Shield. And I guess seeing those guys, like I was inspired by the way that they trained and the way they, really were so professional. And I thought, this is something maybe that I'd like to do as well. And then I guess from there, you sort of like continue on the pathway. I was pretty lucky that I came through at a time when the W League was introduced, 2008. So that was the first year of the league, and I was really young at the time. I was only, I think, 19 when they started talking about it, and then I think 20 by the time the league started. And I was the youngest on the league. So, running around with like Matilda's players and stuff, like I was a little bit probably out of my depth initially. You've got these really experienced players who know a lot more about the game and really challenge you on your calls. So those early years were pretty tough. But I'm pretty, looking back on it now, I'm like, wow, I got to referee like Cheryl Salisbury and, all these Katie Gill and all these really iconic Matildas back in the early days. So that's pretty cool that I got that experience, I think. Then from there, I then got my FIFA badge. I did really well in the National League. And then from that, you can get nominated as an international referee. So that was in 2014. So,